I told you it was gonna rain forever. What is this, day 3 of rain? I think it's day 29 on the Appalachian Trail. Welcome. We got another rainy day in store, but who knows? Maybe it won't be as bad as yesterday. Only way to know is to do it. I'm about to start walking in a second. I just want to go get water for my hike. At least it's not freezing.
To get double digits again, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Then I turned around a little bit later and I you kind of stopped.
That's a good rock. Who would want to bypass a big butt? Here's where I came from. And that's where I'm going. You can go up here to go up Big Butt Peak, but I know there's not a view up there, so I'm not going to slip and slide up and down those rocks. As you saw, I slept in the shelter last night. I just wanted a guaranteed dry, warm place to sleep because I wasn't sure how crazy the rain was going to get last night. There were so many mice in that shelter. Luckily, I didn't feel any on me or my sleeping bag or anything. Like, I didn't get woken up by the mice, but when I was falling asleep and when I woke up, just everywhere I looked in the shelter, there were just mice climbing up all around the rocks and the beams. But I don't have anything in there that they would be interested in, like anything with even just a hint of a scent. I always put in the bear box or my bear hang. So they don't seem to be messing with my stuff, but it's still just a little freaky when you see them where you're sleeping. And that's why I always sleep in the middle of the shelter. I don't sleep along the walls because I heard that the mice stick to the walls, and in my experience, that's usually where I see them. And that's why I keep my head away from the wall also. Everything got wet yesterday. Not everything. Most of it dried out by this morning. The only things that didn't were the sleeves of my sun hoodie. They were soaked. I should have wrung them out yesterday when I got to camp. That probably would have helped. And my shoes are soaked still. I probably got 30 minutes of hiking today with dry socks, and within 30 minutes my socks soaked through, so my feet are once again soaking wet today. But it's not like walking in puddles, at least. And it hasn't been actively raining so far today, which has been nice. It's just when the wind blows. the droplets fall off the leaves and things. The sun is trying to come out, so I'm hopeful that maybe there will be a nice little break spot somewhere up here and I can sit down and the sun will be out and I'll take my shoes and my socks off and lay them in the sun and maybe dry things out just a little bit. This is gonna be my first day on the trail, putting on wet shoes and hiking in them all day and then again the next day. Like, I don't have a nice warm dry hostel to get to tonight. I'm going to another place to camp. I'm still 3 days of walking from town. Just kind of accepting that this is the way things are sometimes, and I knew that this was inevitable coming out here, which is nice. So I was mentally prepared for the stop, and eventually it really doesn't feel like the end of the world. I'm not super upset about it or even overly uncomfortable. It's just different and something I haven't had to deal with before. We're getting little bits of sun. She's trying really hard. If I could dry my shoes out even just a tiny bit, oh, I would be so grateful. Wow, that is really in there. I've just been hanging out at this little Flint Mountain shelter. And I hung up my socks and, I mean, my jacket wasn't really wet, but why not? I wore my rain pants too long, got sweaty, so they're actually dry, that's nice. And then the socks that I'm wearing today are still wet. Oh my god, look at that. So this was probably all for nothing. I doubt they dried even a little bit. And now I have to put wet socks on to keep going. I chose this. I chose to be here. I want to be here. Okay. Oh, these shoes. If you really want to emphasize with this and you're sitting at home, go take a pair of tennis shoes and wool socks, spray them down with your garden hose, and then put them on. And you can see what this feels like too. At least it's not currently raining. Let's go. Straight ahead of me is the trail, but you can't really go that way, so it looks like people are just sorry, plants. nothing is really happening today. Just been walking. Weather's been tame, trail's been tame. Really, these 2 days of 15 miles have been pretty chill, which is nice. Yesterday and today have had about 3,500 up, 3,500 down. So it's spread out really even, it's nothing too crazy, and for the most part it's pretty flat in between the steep sections. So I'm just cruising. Fun fact, I have not listened to music, podcasts, audiobooks once in the 28, 29 days I've been out here. Well, I did one time for maybe 20 minutes, and then some lady stopped me on the trail. I was like, "Did you hear that mountain lion back there?" And I ripped my headphones out, and I just haven't put them back in since. Honestly, listening to music doesn't sound appealing to me on the trail, but I am kind of warming up to the idea of an audiobook, specifically for days like today. It's beautiful, but I could use a little bit of stimulation, I guess. Not every day, but every once in a while. And today is one of those days. I'm about 2 miles from the place I plan to camp, and it's 3:30 p.m. I'm just hoping it doesn't rain between now and then. I don't know if it's supposed to rain. I'm just hoping it doesn't, because my shoes are actually starting to dry out. I'm like kind of scared to say that out loud and jinx it. But if I could set up my tent and everything while it's not raining and put my shoes under cover, maybe tomorrow I won't have wet socks after 30 minutes of hiking. But yeah, that's all. That's why you haven't seen much today. There's just honestly not much to see except for what's right in front of me. I made it to the shelter. No, I don't know what shelter I'm at, guys. Hogback Ridge Shelter. And first thing I did was hang up all of my stuff. Everything is wet. We got the poncho, the towel, the ankle brace, tent, stuff sack, sun hoodie, footprint, socks, gaiters, tent body, other socks, and the rain fly. And then I even have these little bags from my tent hanging. It's all just soaking wet. Now I'm gonna put my warm clothes on and also hang these clothes, even though they're not that wet, but my shorts kind of are. So basically everything I own right now, hanging up to dry. It's drying pretty quick. This was like soaking wet when I hung it up, so that's awesome. I can set up my tent soon. This is the most ridiculous trek to a water source I've ever had to do. I'm gonna track it on the way back and see how long this is. I can't believe it's still going. I stocked up while I was down here because I am not doing that hike again.
That's where I gotta go. That's what they told me I had to do.
Let's walk to the water. Hey girl, I've just not been recording anything today. I'm very sorry. Today I hiked 15.5 miles from Jerry's cabin shelter to the Hogback Ridge shelter, which is where my tent is currently set up nearby. I am sleeping in my tent tonight because I want to wake up early tomorrow and not worry about waking up everybody in the shelter. And I'm a lot more efficient, I think, when I sleep in my tent and wake up in my tent. I think it's just because I'm not stressed about waking anybody else up and I can spread my stuff out and do everything I need to do. I don't know. I'll maybe explain that in another video when I'm not so tired. Yeah, today was easy hiking day, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got bored. on the trail. I think that's just what happened today. Is it was really easy hiking, and I just like had nothing to stimulate me. I didn't really see anybody on the trail. I saw a doohickey during lunch and when I got to this shelter, and other than that, like, I was just on my own, and I actually don't feel like I had a lot to think about even today. So I just wanted headphones, basically, like something to listen to. They were deep in my bag. I didn't want to dig them out in case it started raining. So yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird. I mean, it's pretty cool that it took 29 days to reach boredom. Not that I haven't been bored, but like bored to a point where it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not making any sense because I need to go to bed. I have kind of a big day planned for tomorrow. We'll see. It's flexible, but just in case, I'm gonna go to bed now so I can wake up nice and early and start hiking as early as possible tomorrow to make my goal a reality. Okay, love you guys so much. These are all my wet socks. It's also all of my socks. Anyways, hopefully they'll be dry in the morning. I'll definitely see you in the morning. Good night, guys.